Okay, what's up, everybody? This is Sunko, the Korean bro. Today is 2024, March 29th. Hmm. Let's start reading articles, okay? Hmm. Tesla's quarter to forget. Hmm. Tesla's quarter first to forget. Poor guidance, China woos and Musk antiques hit EV makers stock hard. Okay. It's been a very trying first quarter for Tesla shareholders and finish of the EV giant. Through Thursday, the last trading day of the first quarter, Tesla stock is down a whoopingly up 10.2%. Its best first quarter since 2019. For Tesla, a combination of poor guidance, a tough selling environment in China, and more dramatic from a CEO Elon Musk led the EV maker, which topped $750 billion in market cap to start the year, shed over $200 billion of that since January 1st. A warning to start the quarter. The first quarter started offline for Tesla when EV juggernaut reported quarter four delivery hit a record 485K, with its full year 2023 total of 1.8 million, also meeting estimates. But that may be the high water mark for Tesla, at least for the time being. In its quarter four earnings report released in late January, Tesla said its vehicle volume growth rate may be notably lower than the growth rate achieved in 2023. Okay. Mm, Let me read articles from mollyfood.com and then we'll move on to Yahoo Finance the next, okay? What is this one? Hmm. Okay, let's see. This magnificent dividend stock is trading close to a once-in-a-decade valuation. Is it a buy? Dividend yield for a McCormick stock stands at over 2%, the highest it's been in a decade. The company is in high growth opportunity and has trailed the S&P 500 over the long term. However, investors can expect earnings growth and dividend increases in the years ahead. With artificial intelligence, gene editing, biotechnology, humanoid robots, and more, there are plenty of mind-blowing things to invest in these days. But boring businesses can make money for investors as well. And one of the most boring, surefire business out there is seasoning and spices giant McCormick and Company. McCormick reported financial results for its fiscal first quarter of 2024 on March 26, and the market responded enthusiastically. Therefore, the stock isn't quite as good a deal as it was just days ago. However, shares still trade near a once-in-a-decade valuation by one important metric. Hmm. It is one of the best dividend stocks in the world, and as of this writing, its dividend yield is about 2%. This means that for every $1,000 investment, shareholders can expect $20 in annual income. As the chart below shows, the dividend yield has been above 2% for a few months now, which is the first time it's been this high in almost a decade. Talking about its yield is appropriate because McCormick is a magnificent dividend stock. In November 2023, the company increased its quarterly payout, the 38th straight year. The management has raised. Few companies can match that streak. When a dividend stock of McCormick's caliber trades at a rare valuation, it's worth examining whether it's a good investment. As I'll explain, this could be a solid addition to a dividend portfolio right now. So, okay, McCormick seemingly dominates shelf space at the grocery store with its a variety of labels for seasonings and spices. The company owns its eponymous brands as well as others such as Old Bay's, French's, Frank's, Red Hot, and more. It owns more food brands as well, such as Zatarines and Thai Kitchen. Given the variety in its product and its branding, the company is constantly experimenting and launches new products. um, with existing branding, acquires other brands, and even divest brand at times. This constant tinkering doesn't necessarily result in outsized revenue growth, but often boosts profit margins when they are struggling. As an example, net sales were up 3% year over year in the first quarter, and sales volume was down, in part because its dividend divested a small canning operation, but the company's operating margin improved from the prior year period. Okay, I get it. So here we have the company named McCormick and Company. They dominate spices and seasoning market. Mm. And they are not only dominating in this market, but also they have restaurants mm, named the Zatarines in Thai Kitchen. Mm. Okay, here we have as an example, net sales were only up 3% year over year in the first quarter, and sales volume was down, in part because it divested a small canning operation, but the company's operating margin improved from the prior year period, and this led to a 19% increase in its diluted earnings per share. So the sad McCormick sells products that are always in demand. Okay, because food, people have to eat food all the time, right? And because they are dominating this market, people have no choice but to consume their products, right? Mm. Also, it also has a track record for churning out profits regardless of headwinds. Okay. Management's priority for shareholders is a dividend, so I fully expect it to continue growing for years. Um, to come and the company's ability to consistently increase its profits will provide the ability to continue doing just that. Therefore, McCormick is a solid business and worth its spot in the portfolio. And with its dividend yield over 2%, it's one of the best times in the past decade to be a buyer. Okay, here we have NVIDIA, 1,950% up, Tesla up 881%. Okay, Tesla earnings and share price performance actually have slowed in recent times as various factors weigh on the electric vehicle giant, from higher costs linked to a production ramp up to negative foreign exchange impact. But Tesla surged over the past 5 years as the company delivered more and more vehicles, opened major new factories, delivered record earnings, built up more than $29 billion in cash. The cash level is particularly important because it will help this ambitious EV leader continue to innovate and potentially progress on programs such as self-driving technology. So Tesla's slowdown looks like a temporary situation, meaning growth probably isn't over for this market giant. Hmm. Let's read this one. As investors salivate over all things related to artificial intelligence, Apple is yet again remaining tight-lipped about its plans. I don't think this is the best move after some of the company's flop in recent history. Hmm. Okay, let's read this one. The stock known as the Magnificent Seven have led S&P 500 higher over the past year. One company that isn't in this group has outperformed most of the Magnificent Seven in that time period. This particular company's growth is set to take off. The Magnificent Seven originally made the headline as a Western back in 1960, but in recent times it's entered the investing world. Bank of America analyst Michael Hafnet first used the term last year to refer to a group of stocks that are industry leading. It's known for its strengths in some form of technology. These players among the most heavily weighted in the S&P 500 have helped the benchmark soar into bull territory over the past year or so and could continue to driving gains thanks to their growth prospects. Okay, but there's one obvious element missing from this group, a healthcare company that's actually outperformed five of the Magnificent Seven stocks over the past year. This player also now represents a bigger position in the S&P 500 than one of the Magnificent Seven stocks. Is this company on track to become the next Magnificent Seven company? Let's find out. So, a path to the Magnificent Seven. First, it is important to note that the Magnificent Seven isn't some sort of group or club that periodically welcomes new members. So, for Lily to assure in the era of the Magnificent Eight, or for a new stock to replace the current player in the Magnificent Seven, there aren't any official procedures to follow. The investment community as a whole would have to begin referring to this group as the Magnificent Eight, or clearly and broadly refer to one stock no longer making the cut in the Magnificent Seven and others taking over. So there's no guarantee any of that will happen. But if it does, my prediction is healthcare giant Eli Lilly will enter this Eli group of stocks. Lilly is gaining about 130% over the past year, has outperformed all of the Magnificent Seven except Meta and Nvidia. They climbed more than 140% and 250% respectively. And Lilly has grown to become the eighth most heavily weighted stock in the S&P 500, surpassing Tesla, which has fallen to the number 10 spot. Why would Lilly make a great addition to the Magnificent Seven? Because the company's growth may beat even that of the group's best performer Nvidia. Lilly is on track to deliver 50% growth annually over the coming 5 years. That's higher than Nvidia's 35% annual growth estimate over the same period. So, $100 billion market. And driving Lilly's growth is a program with significant potential. The company's weight loss drug portfolio. $100 billion by 2030, growing 16 times from today's level, according to Goldman Sachs research. This forecast isn't surprising considering the trend Lilly and rival drug maker Novo Nordisk have seen for their weight loss drugs. Demand has surpassed supply, prompting both companies to ramp up manufacturing infrastructure. Lilly makes two drugs, Mounjaro and Zepbound. The doctors have been prescribing for weight loss. The former officially was approved for type 2 diabetes, while the latter was approved specifically for weight management. Both are the same molecule, uh, tirzepatide. It works by acting on two hormone pathways involved in digestion that has produced compelling results in clinical trials and the real world. Lilly also is developing a third candidate, litatrutide, which may even outperform this current product because it acts on an additional hormone. Hmm. Lilly doesn't depend on its weight loss drug platform alone for earnings, though. This big pharma player has a broad portfolio of products as well as a deep pipeline. But the weight loss program, which already is bringing in billions of dollars in revenue, could represent an enormous growth driver over the coming years, making this healthcare player a growth stock that could easily climb a spot among the Magnificent Seven. So what that means for you? What does this mean for you as an investor? A potential spot in this group of stocks could buoy Lilly stock for a day or two, but inclusion in the Magnificent Seven or any other list isn't what makes Lilly a buy. Its growth potential does, considering the demand for weight loss drugs today and most likely down the road too. Its growth potential does, considering the demand for weight loss drugs today, most likely down the road to at least work on new candidates. Prospect look bright. On top of this, Lilly's portfolio of other products is also is driving earnings, and the pipeline may ensure this growth will last. Lilly's day trades for 61 times forward earnings estimates, which looks expensive for a farmer stock. Hmm. But this company is looking more like a growth stock, making this valuation looks reasonable. Okay, let's see. Billionaire B. Altman has 70% of his $10 billion portfolio in just four stocks. B. Altman runs a highly concentrated stock portfolio at Portion Square. His four largest holdings are Chipotle, Alphabet, Restaurant Brands, and Hilton. He likes to buy a long-standing consumer brands at reasonable valuation. So, these stocks have all performed well and have many similar characteristics that can provide lessons for other investors. For individual investors, it can pay to follow what the professionals are doing. Specifically, if you're a buy and hold investor, you can find ideas from like-minded investing legend. One investor to follow closely is Bill Altman of Parsons Square Capital Management. The billionaire investor runs a $10 billion portfolio for outside investors, owning positions in just seven stocks that he and the team have held for many years. There are four stocks that make up a whopping 70% of Almond's concentrated stock portfolio. So successfully batting on a Chipotle rebound. Uh, okay. Almond's second largest position is Chipotle Mexican Grill. Parsons Square bought the stock after the restaurant chain began to struggle in 2016 after an outbreak of foodborne illness at some of its locations. They helped the company steer a turnaround by bringing in new management and fixing its quality control issues. Since the middle of 2016, Chipotle stock has returned some 632% for shareholders. Operating income has grown even faster, up 963% over this time period, as the company regained store traffic and significantly improved its margins. At the end of 2023, it had just under 3,500 stores in North America. While the company is quite large today, management thinks there is room to double its store count to 7,000 locations in North America alone, with no consideration for any international expansion. Adam saw some same store sales growth. It partly looks primed to continue growing earnings for many years into the future. At just over 18% of its portfolio, this has been a huge winner for Altman and could continue to be in the future. So more restaurant exposure. At 17.6% uh, of the portfolio, another large position for Portion Square is Restaurant Brand International. Like Chipotle, this is a bet on a quick service restaurant chains with the company owning four brands: Firehouse Subs, Popeyes, Burger King, and Tim Hortons. It has also been one of the longer term holdings for Pershing Square, with the first purchase of the stock coming all the way back in 2014. Restaurant brand stock performance has not been as strong as Portland's, but it has still done well for Pershing Square. Shares are up 194% since 2014, with earnings per share up 654% as well. It owns four distinct brands that give it a diversified exposure to the entire restaurant sector, with over 30,000 restaurants uh, spread around the globe. For investors looking for durable stocks with low downside over the long term, restaurant brands international looks like a great choice. It's hard to imagine they're not being Burger King and Tim Horton locations 10 or 20 from now. So, okay. And next, a take rate on global travel. At 16.2% of the Parsons Square stock portfolio, Altman has made another play on a consumer brand with Hilton Worldwide Holdings. The investment company bought its stock back in 2018, making a bet on the growth of global travel. Hilton Worldwide owns its namesake Hilton brand, but also a variety of other hotel brands like the Waldorf Astoria, Embassy Suites, and DoubleTree. Importantly, Hilton Worldwide doesn't actually own the hotel real estate, but licenses its brand to hotel operators. In exchange, Hilton receives a cut of all sales, which hotel owners are willing to do because the Hilton brand allows them to offer higher room rates compared to if they were an independent operator. Hilton's earnings haven't grown much since 2018 due to the pandemic, with operating income up 77% and revenue only up 20%, but looks like a recovery may be on the way, with spending on travel fully rebounding in most markets. With its exposure to global travel, Hilton is poised to benefit from this recovery. Its business model is hashed to inflation. It's unsurprising then to see the stock make up a large portion of Altman's portfolio in early 2024. This is a great business with a long-standing global brand. Don't forget the largest holding Alphabet. Altman's largest holding and his most recent purchase is Alphabet. Pershing Square bought shares of the parent company of Google Search and YouTube in early 2023. It is now close to 19% of the stock portfolio. Altman likely purchased Alphabet because of its falling valuation at the beginning of last year due to fears it was losing the new race in artificial intelligence competitors like Microsoft. These fears proved to be unwarranted, with Alphabet continuing its earnings growth through 2023. Mm. Uh, the company's operating earnings hit an all-time high of $84.3 billion in 2023, leading to leading the stock to soar 71% since the beginning of last year. Alphabet looks like a quintessential Pershing Square bet. It is diversified holding the company with long-standing global brands. It hedge fund managers decided to strike and make a large position when its price-to-earnings ratio came down to around 15 early last year. Investors can learn a lot from a Pershing Square and Altman. It makes concentrated bets on stocks with strong brand training and reasonable valuation. Then he held his position for many years and let his winners run. Hmm. Okay. Investors have gone head over heels for stock split stocks. A stock split is an event that allows a publicly traded company to alter its share price and outstanding share count by the same magnitude. Keep in mind that it is purely cosmetic change, as neither market cap nor the company's operating performance is affected. Though there have been a few examples of reverse split success stories, most investors focus their attention on high flying stocks conducting four stock splits. Before a split, uh, is designed mm, to make a common share price more nominally affordable for investors who may not have access to fractional share purchases with their broker. Mm. Since the midpoint of 2021, close to a dozen high-profile businesses have conducted four splits, including artificial intelligence titan Nvidia, e-commerce behemoth Amazon, and brick-and-mortar retail juggernaut Walmart. Last week, fast casual restaurant chain Chipotle Mexican Grill announced it will be joining this elite group of performers. Assuming its shareholders approve the company's proposed 50 for 1 to 4 split, it will take effect prior to the opening bell on June 26th. So there's no denying that certain core aspects of Chipotle's operating model have resonated with consumers. The company's use of locally sourced vegetables, reasonably raised meat speaks to the growing number of people eager for perceived to be higher quality foods. Just as consumers willingly shelled out more money for organic products in grocery stores in the early 2000s, Chipotle has found that its consumers are willing to absorb sizable price hikes to uh, eat its fresh meals. Innovation has also helped catapult Chipotle Mexican Grill from its initial public offering price of $22 in January 2006 to its closing price of roughly $2,882 per share on March 22, 2024. A perfect example is the 2018 debut of drive-through lanes dedicated to mobile orders, known as Chipotle lanes. Keeping its menu relatively small and adding Chipotle lanes to newer locations ensures an efficient ordering process that can lift margins. Unfortunately, Chipotle's valuation is an eyesore. Although food is a necessary good that's going to be purchased in any economic climate, Chipotle is valued at nearly 45 times Wall Street consensus earnings per share for 2025. For context, this is almost twice the average forward-year multiple of 224 for S&P 500 restaurant stocks. So to add to the above, Chipotle's growth isn't nearly as impressive once new restaurants openings are backed out of the equation. Mm. So what an author points out is that it's relatively expensive than other companies. Uh, its valuation is an eyesore. That's how this guy calls it. And let's move on to find out what AutoZone is. Okay, AutoZone. Okay, the other potential stock split stock that makes for a more attractive buy than Chipotle is the auto parts retail chain AutoZone. AutoZone hasn't split its stock since April 1994, with a single share setting investors back nearly $3,240 as of March 22. One reason AutoZone stock has been virtually unstoppable is because Americans are keeping their vehicles longer than ever before. In May 2023, S&P Global Mobility, a division of the more familiar S&P Global, found that the average age of the 284 million vehicles registered in the US is of 12.5 years. This is music to the ears of auto parts suppliers like AutoZone, which are being tasked with keeping aging vehicles running like new. What is AutoZone? What is AutoZone company? AutoZone. Okay. For more than 43 years, AutoZone has been committed to provide the best parts, prices, and customer service in the automotive aftermarket industry. We have a rich culture and history of going the extra mile for our customers and our community. Today, AutoZone is a leading retailer and a leading distributor of automotive replacement parts and accessories in the US. Okay, so I get it. Uh, so aftermarket industry, automotive aftermarket industry, uh, accessories related to vehicles. That's what they sell it. Okay, like oil, parts, accessories. Uh, Okay, let's read this one. Meet the artificial intelligence style to attract NVIDIA's biggest investment. NVIDIA has made a number of investment in AI-focused companies. The company's biggest investment gives insight into which of the five NVIDIA believes has the most potential. It isn't surprising that NVIDIA wrote the biggest check to own a stake in All Holdings, a key partner in the company's AI success. Hmm. The reigning king of AI has made several AI related investments, but one is the biggest and arguably the best. NVIDIA has been the undisputed winner in the early innings of the artificial intelligence revolution. Last month, hmm, okay, this is it for today, and I'm gonna have to put an end to it. Um, See y'all and have a good night, okay? Bye bye.